Can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
Do you think you've like changed your opinion at all on like homeless people and the things that happen to them since you've sort of started living in the park?
No.
Because we've been arguing with
No.
you for a very long time, right? And
No. No. Um,
you don't
I'll
think
tell.
so?
No. I
Oh,
think
okay.
I've known homeless people for decades. I
No,
know
just
all. May I finish?
sure.
I know
Yeah, of
all
course.
the ins and outs about the homeless and so forth and so on. Some of them when I used to go to Skid Row. Some of them were PhDs, things like that. Right? I know a person from Discord. He's a rocket scientist and he's homeless. Okay. And so these are the people I've known all my life in terms of what I'm observing. And it's always something mental illness, drug related, alcohol, things like that, that end them being where they are, even though they had another life at one time, wife, kids, all of that. Now, I've known about that. What's changed? That information? Absolutely not. What's changed is my heart toward them. Okay? That's what's changed, sir.
Yeah, I don't. I think maybe I was not super clear about what I
Mm-hmm.
meant there, so that's probably on me. What I mean is, more that the way that they're treated. Like you just said, there's a guy sat on a bench and he wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just like
Mm-hmm.
sat there. And like we've been talking to you for a long, long time, and you've had
Mm-hmm.
some pretty, I don't know, like scathing, maybe harsh positions on law enforcement and
I
how they
have.
treat people. I think so, yeah.
Actually, it's quite the opposite, sir. I value law enforcement. I don't know if you know, but every time I opened up a business, I should donate to the police department. And in turn, they knew me to where they would just kind of make the little extra round around my store, kind of look out for it. I've always had good relations with the cops. Now, if you're talking about my youth, right? I had a lot of run-ins with the cops with
I,
drugs and weapons and all of that stuff, and they have also harassed me in a certain way. Uh, so
I was scratching
maybe
my head, John, when he said that as well, because I'm like, I thought that John Lee almost had like the "I love police"
I
like
do.
bumper sticker on the
I
car.
love police right
Yeah,
now.
I still think maybe there's some confusion.
I had one time we were partying once, and we got caught up in the mountains. We got kicked out of the mountains. We left somebody because he was hidden. When the cops left, we made a U-turn. His name was Tom. We picked him up. Anyway, picked up. We got to go back for Tom. Can't leave him behind. So we picked him up. We're going down the mountain and we're cranking a song by NWA. It's called F the Police. But when that happened, my hatchback was very dirty. And so after that encounter, we were already drunk, and we put F the word, the whole spelled out, the police, right? THA, I think it was even, right? And we were driving, and all of a sudden we're driving home, which was like about 15 miles away. And of course, somebody says, I gotta pee, and another guy says, I gotta pee too. We all gotta pee now, right? So I get off the freeway, right under the underpass, and we're all peeing. What happens again? This time the Monrovia cops come up with their lights blaring and they find my weapon again and all this other stuff. And, you know, I'm not sure if he gave us a urinating in public ticket. I'm not sure. But what I do remember is this. He says, "Looky here, Bob." And he's looking at my car. It says F the police. He goes, "That's us," right? And so this is the kind of encounters I used to have as a kid. The cops were our mortal enemies, okay? But you're talking about a business person, and from that point on, they're my best friends. I like
I
them.
think you guys
Big
misunderstood
difference.
what Danger said or
Yeah,
Okay.
was
you are
trying to
misunderstanding
say.
what I'm
I'm
asking for
sorry for
sure. Yeah.
misunderstanding, but what did you mean,
Yeah,
sir?
look, I know you're pro-police, right? I know,
I am.
I know this about you, but now what seems to be happening is you seem to be a little peeved, maybe the right word, that the police seem to be picking on you, particularly when you're not doing anything wrong, and then you've noticed that they're picking on this guy on the bench, that they're not, you know, that you don't think he's doing anything wrong either, right? And I
Hmm.
don't think
Oh
if
my
that had been
goodness.
leveled,
Oh my goodness. Hang on. So I wasn't paying attention to all this going on. I saw them leave, but I don't see the guy at the bench anymore, and it takes a long distance for him to be out of sight because it's right in the open. I think they picked him up and put him in the car, actually, and took off. But just on the side note,
right? Do you understand what I'm asking, Han?
I do. So I can say this when I observe it. Even when the cop came, I'm like, yes sir, no sir. In a compliance, it's these guys here who have maybe a history with them. They told me that a guy named Holland's Head is a nice guy. I'm hearing,
Matt, you're hot miking.
and I'm hearing that this guy is not Holland's Head. In fact, his name is Sanchez, and they're actually saying this guy Sanchez is, a lot of expletives, right? So, me personally, it's these guys that may, uh, hate him. But the way I look at it, right, it's a case that like he said certain things. Do I completely agree with him? No, but I certainly want to comply with law enforcement, even if what he might be interpreting the ordinances maybe not properly, because somebody gave me the exact ordinance of my city, and it was like no quote unquote camping paraphernalia. Well, what does that even mean,
It
right?
lists it, and it says anything used to cook food, which is what you had.
So a coffee like because I know from going camping, no one brings a coffee maker camping.
Well, it literally just says anything used to make food. But I'm
Okay,
almost positive that's what the verbiage is.
okay, okay, then it qualifies, and he was right about that then.
Didn't you
So
have your coffee maker on your table earlier?
yeah, for the time that it brewed, only because people immediately was going to the power station to charge their batteries, or the batteries for the phones and devices. And so I could have brought it. I could have left the power station in the Prius, and they all hook it up in the Prius while the coffee is being made in the Prius. And yes, it is a case that I cheated a little bit, and people like you bring it up, and that's good. That genuinely is good because I'm finding that I don't even want to compromise a little bit. And so I did wrong today. I didn't get
Well,
caught for it, but
I mean,
I'm gonna
look,
start
I'm
to make my coffee in the car until I get permission otherwise. Hopefully it'll be from his superiors or him himself. I don't think he himself will change it because like Jane said, um, it's in the literature. Now, if it was the case that out of the RV, well, if you guys have seen my coffee station, you know, I would love to do that. But like I said, this is not a John can do anything world, and that there's other people, and there's also a lot of things going on. And it's a case that like I'll even post it right now. I would love to do this, you know, and I'm gonna post that picture right now. And this guy's name is Steven. He's in a recovery program, outtake program. So he goes there Monday through Friday at the outtake program, but he passes by my place all the time. And it's a case that before not Sergeant, Officer Sanchez came by, this is where I had my coffee, right? And so I would love to serve coffee right there, keep it hot all the time. People just come. They can't just like demolish it. It's a very simple coffee station, and all the other stuff are back there. I won't have, I don't even know how I'm gonna do oatmeal. What, I have to take it out and put it in some sort of container to keep it warm rather than plugged in? I mean, so what is it like cooking material or keeping warm material? Is that the same thing? Probably. And so, I mean, it's just like I'm just gonna do the best that I can under the law in a legal way. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no cheating. I'm not too happy that he took away my trash bag. Are you serious? But I mean, okay. I took
Look,
it down.
if I can just 60
Mm-hmm.
seconds, uh, it's not my position to call you out for cheating, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Yeah, I'm glad you
that's
did,
cer-
sir, actually.
well, that's certainly not what I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are of the opinion that you should comply with law enforcement, and
I am.
look, I don't
And I
disagree
failed to
on.
I failed this morning, and I'm glad you pointed it out.
Well, that's fine, but look, I don't disagree that you should do that, but uh, I think I think that the large majority of the laws that are being like cited to you are there with the intention of just trying to move homeless people along and not
Sure.
give them things
Of
that they
course.
need, right?
You
So
don't think
in
you
a
don't think
weird,
I know, like, the busted
sure,
tail light is an excuse to harass any
right.
motorists, right? That kind of
Well, I
thing, right?
look, that's where I'm at. So when they come and try and like, I don't think they want you to comply. I will think they want you to leave,
Uh,
right?
Well,
I think they want you to leave the park. I think they
well,
hate what you're doing and they want you to get out, right?
he did say one time he the first time he came was because of the characters that were under his radar screen who had just gotten out of jail in his community, released into his community. He's keeping an eye, and where are they at? At some motel or something, with the dealers? No, they're right at my table. Right? So it just so happened I had what they wanted, which was food and drink and whatever. And so the cops, the cop came and talked about them, and that was first. I told him I said, I'm glad you're here. I want to tell you what I'm doing. I know them. I told him the name, and as he left, he said, "You're doing a good thing." And I could tell he didn't want to really hear me too much. Like, like I was probably over talkative too. I was just excited about what I do, but he left. Then he came back yesterday in the morning, and this time he was talking about a lot of other things. The first time he came is because there was bags left over on my table, actually, and I took them and I gave it back to a person by the name of Megan. I gave it back to her. But this time he came by, it was about other things. I had solar panels out there, all sorts of pots and pans, and you name it. The pots and pans weren't even supposed to be there. They were just set there because they were dirty, and I just, I forgot to grab them. I was busy doing this room or whatever. Anyway, there was clothes. There's still clothes right now, and yet I reminded him too. Oh, there's some clothes right there, because if that's what you're concerned about, that was his statement about approaching the first time. He didn't touch them. Then I told him I wanted to put a banner up there. Then he started saying I can't. And then I told him, over there, $10 off haircut or whatever. Those have been up there for months, right? And he didn't seem to care about it. So those ordinances are there, but if given the fact that like all these other things, violations, quote unquote, when I bring it to his attention, he just doesn't care about it. Then I think to myself, well, maybe he doesn't care about the ordinances and so forth. He cares about me and maybe moving me out, like Danger Mouse said.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But I will say this. What he did say was, again, he said, "You're doing a good thing. I just want you to be in compliance." Now, whether that's true, not true, I'm just
John, did he say
repeat.
that the second time?
He did. He did.
And his attitude to you was no different?
I think it was. I think it was the same.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was the same in terms of authoritative. Like I think he wanted to be understood as I'm the authority here.
Sure. But
And
he
I know
wasn't
people like
like,
that. I give them all the respect that they think they
yeah,
deserve.
but what I'm saying is it's not like he was looking at you suspiciously or more
No,
hostile.
he knows I'm legit.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
John,
He knows I'm not putting a facade and I'm really dealing drugs to everybody here. You know? He knows all that.
John, it sounds like you're attempting to follow the letter of the law the best that you
No,
can.
he's the one stressing the letter of the law. Okay, to
Right.
me.
But if we agree that the spirit of the law is to just move you along, right?
Well, that has nothing to do with law. There's no law that says to move,
No, but the
vagrants or.
spirit would be that the idea of having all of these
So,
things in place is to give a legitimacy to their ability to like move homeless people away from public parks, public spaces. You know,
I believe him when he says he's not responding to a call. Because
sure.
usually, every time I see cops, in almost every situation, they're almost apologetic. Yes, I'm here talking to you. And they say, yes, you can't live in your motorhome or in a vehicle, but in the city of Tustin, they'll say it like that. But I'm just responding to a call and I have to come out. That's how they are. And then they leave as if they've done their job and they don't want to enforce the very laws that they have because they have either a heart or whatever you want to say, that they don't see you as posing a danger. You're just trying to survive. And so you don't seem to be doing any drugs or anything like that. So they just leave apologetically, I might say. Now, Officer Sanchez over here does not have that type of demeanor. And I did ask him, "Are you responding to a call?" And he said, "No," and I believe him.
What does him responding to a call have to do with the fact that the spirit of the law is to get you to leave versus the letter of the law is like you
I
can't have a
explained that.
coffee?
I explained that. What laws there says homeless people must leave?
No, you yourself even acknowledged that clearly the spirit of this law is not really about the camping equipment. It's about homeless people not taking up camp in parks.
No, no, no. Spirit of the law, meaning the ordinances of this city. The spirit of the law has nothing to do with the spirit of Officer Sanchez. Do you see the difference?
No, no, no. I'm not talking about the spirit of Officer Sanchez. I'm talking about the spirit of the law is
Mm-hmm.
clearly written to target homeless people and to get them
No,
out of. I thought
I don't
that's what
agree
you
with
agreed
that.
to.
Absolutely not, ma'am.
Danger Mouse brought this up and you agreed. So maybe you misunderstood what Danger Mouse was saying. So you
Yeah.
don't think that the laws were written to target homeless people. He asked you this explicitly.
Yeah, I asked you
Well,
directly and you
well,
said
well,
yes.
well, no, no. Then I misunderstood you. My answer is directly is no.
You
Okay.
don't think that the law was written to target homeless people. That's incredibly
And
naive.
no, but what I do know is that the city of Santa Ana sued the city of Tustin in a sense that they were supposedly moving the homeless people and shoving them to the border into Santa Ana. And so there was a lawsuit about that. But also, from what I hear, uh, the the official police line for the homeless was, please don't go to Pine Tree Park. Please don't go to Heritage Park. Please don't go to Citrus Park or Pioneer Park or Columbus Tustin Park. If you're homeless, all the homeless people, please come to Pepper Tree Park. That will be the homeless park for our town or city. And that had been that way for years, according to a guy I met who's been here for years. But he did say you don't hear them saying that anymore. And
I
so,
just
so
just
there, so what he said was that they goaded everyone to come to Pepper Tree Park, only to have them all in one place to get them out of the city. I don't believe that conspiracy theory. I think it's just that the policies have changed and their attitudes may have changed as well. That's what I think.
you honestly think that the city council got together to write up this ordinance about coffee makers on public picnic tables for the sheer goal of getting rid of coffee makers off of
I'm
picnic benches?
I'm gonna guess. Oh, I don't think they had coffee makers in mind, first of all. But I'm gonna guess that if I look at the neighboring parks in this area in Orange County, that they have the exact same ordinances.
Right, because they also don't like homeless people. Like, do you
Yeah,
think
they want
any
them out
legitimate
too.
camper, do you think any legitimate person that is actually camping for pleasure is coming to these parks to camp?
Okay,
Be
so
honest, John.
are, you're not understanding where I'm coming from. So first of all, living in your car in any city in the state of California uh, is likely, not definitely, likely illegal, from my understanding. And so, does that mean that they're targeting the homeless? No, they're trying to uphold
Yes,
a pretty.
they don't like homeless people in their cities, and so they're writing up ordinances to make it
Okay.
illegal to be homeless.
And so now,
Bearing
because
in
I have a
mind that
different
somebody who's
opinion, you
living
want to
in their
cut me.
car,
So you want to cut me off, and now you want to debate something you disagree with.
who,
I'm
me?
not going to have that. You're asking me a
I'm
Me?
sorry, you asked
question.
a question.
You asked me
You said, "Do
you asked a
you?"
question.
You asked one. You said, "Do you think that's what they're
It was a
doing?" And I said, "Yes."
is a rhetorical question, in case you didn't notice. Okay, and not only so, I was continuing to speak when you cut me off.
Well, I
You
cut
didn't
you
say
off.
you didn't say you didn't know. She said yes, and she didn't stop there. She elaborated. She could have said interjected, say yes, and let me continue, but she did not. Okay, are you guys even paying attention to this discourse here?
Well, no, I cut you off though.
I didn't talk about you. I was talking to
Oh,
Jane.
well, she's catching flack for something that I did.
I think you're not tracking what I'm saying. But in
Okay,
anyway,
He just
but
gets
anyway,
mad when I do it, not you.
right.
no, I get mad when you habitually, and I understand that it's been established, acceptable for many years, quite frankly, but I wasn't a mod then. I'm a mod here. And I have to respect the standards you guys have in your room. But just because you're able to act the way you have and behave the way you have and be rude to your guests and so forth and so on does not necessarily mean that I'm going to tolerate that. And I have been explicit to say to various people that we're not going to have people cut off each other, including me, especially me. How about that?
You seem to tolerate Bob interrupting you incessantly
Mm.
yesterday.
In any case, right, you're welcome to view it as some sort of targeting of you or an injustice or false weight or balance. Again, we're not going to have that discussion. This is not an Andrew R room. Okay?
You're the one who was bringing it up, not me.
So hopefully that statement would have been sufficient, but for whatever reason you want to respond the way you do, I'm not looking for an argument. And the more and more that you do that type of activity, I'm going to send you down, Jane. And if that persists, I'm just going to block you. I don't think you understand the seriousness of what I'm saying. I'm not joking around. It's not a matter of debate. This is what I'm telling you. And hopefully you'll just listen and have no response. Hopefully. But that's what I'm very adamant to say, that this is how these rooms are going to be conducted. But yeah, as far as the laws, do I think that they're designed to run out the homeless? No, I don't believe that. Simple question, simple answer.
Can
And
you answer the question I actually asked, though, which was, do you think any legitimate actual camper is coming to these parks to camp
oh,
that isn't homeless?
absolutely, absolutely. Now, from Joseph, what I talked to yesterday, had been a resident here for, I don't know, maybe a couple of decades at least. Not sure, I forgot. But I do know he's like very ingrained in this community. He told me that this park used to have wall to wall RVs surrounding. I wish I could just point to you, like and show you, and people living in their cars. And he even said some guy had dug a hole way back there and was living in there for months. And so it was that kind of park. He says, what
Okay,
you see right now is nothing compared to what it used to be.
okay, but those people aren't camping. Those people are homeless. I'm asking, are there actual people like on the weekend? They're like, I'm going to go on a camping trip. Let's pack up all of our tents and
Then you
our
don't,
cooking
you,
equipment and then
okay.
come to this public park. Do you think that that's what the law is targeting? Or do you think it's
You're
targeting homeless people living out of their car?
you're equivocating because the word camping, I'll give you an example. I had slept overnight in front of a person's business, and they in the morning when I woke up, they had a note on my attached to my windshield wipers, and it says no camping. Last warning or something. Yeah, just that simple. No camping, last warning. That's what he put. So his understanding of camping is not your understanding of camping. I understand camping very simply, staying overnight. That's how I understand it. You have an understanding of some sort of recreational outing in the woods, and no, 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 that's not camping. Not, no,
Okay, but
that's
the problem I'm seeing now is that by your definition, homeless people are camping. And so
absolutely they're camping.
this legislation then would by definition be targeting them. And you denied that.
Okay. Once again, people with campers who are camping, whether it's in a vehicle or not, um, is is different than people without that. This particular city is very lenient to those individuals who are actually camping, but they will say in the city it's illegal. Some will say to camp in your vehicle. Um, so others will say to sleep in your vehicle, but those languages are used, and the camping in your vehicle, sleeping in your vehicle is one and the same thing, just to let you know. And so what they're saying is, although it's illegal in the city, they just kind of notify you and they kind of overlook it, but they are saying that it's a statute in their city. Now, when it comes to people without a vehicle, which is most of the people that I deal with, um, those people with the vehicles do show up in some of the like Sunday night to where they have a dinner and all the shower and all that other stuff. But they mostly stay to their own places. And when I talk to them, they tell me the various spots they hang out in. It's the outskirts. They just want to be alone, right? Now, the people that have no cars, they're very vulnerable to a lot of things, and they're very unsightly because of the people in the car, like me. When I was in my car for 2 years in this Prius, um, I would never come here. What are you kidding me? But I come here now to help the people that have no cars. And so know these laws. Bottom line, know these laws are not um, there to target the people on the street because they certainly don't enforce it, or the people that are um, without vehicles. I think they're just laws that are kind of like on the books that could be enforced if excessive, to say that, like, hey, you're breaking the law here by what you're doing. And sometimes it would be like, what, maybe have a campfire or something at a barbecue pit or something, and all night and who knows what. And
So
so
just
that's
to
probably what they don't want. Absolutely, they
okay,
don't want that.
so just to be crystal clear, you are denying that
Oh
the
my
spirit
goodness.
of the law is to get people who are unhoused, whether living in their car or otherwise, out of public parks. You don't think that that's what the spirit of the
I,
law
I
is
already,
supposed to.
I already answered that.
Well, you did, but you then misunderstood what that meant. And so I'm just trying to reiterate to be clear. You don't think that that's what the spirit of the law is
I don't know
intended.
how more clear to be on my position.
You said it's you. Okay, so just so that because I really don't understand your position. You
Oh my
said just
goodness.
now that you think the spirit
Can
of the
you, how
law
about this?
was.
How about this? Is it okay for you to remain ignorant on a position I've already articulated and may have already, and maybe you want a third one because you're so selfish in your clarification of my position that you're going to take up the entire room's time, whereas maybe some people may have gotten it, but you personally have not.
Well,
And
I
if it's the
originally
case
asked
that
a
some, and if it's the case that some people did not get it, including yourself, Jane, you're still taking up the time. It's not a public service, okay? It's a public nuisance, and I'm trying to warn you.
Okay, if anybody has the answer, they can type it in chat for me. Thank you.
But in any case, hopefully, yes, I don't think that the laws of this city are designed to target anyone who has no home. Full stop.
Well, I
and hopefully we
originally
can
asked
move on.
the question, and I was just asking
Hmm.
because it seemed as though you gave me certainly the impression that you thought the cops may be targeting you and you didn't know why. And that's why I asked originally.
Well, that's true. I didn't say target.
No, you didn't.
They certainly have their attention on me.
Okay, that's a
Me,
better word. Yeah.
me, okay? And so,
And
so,
this guy
uh,
that they just arrested, right?
so these guys don't seem to be very aware. I said, "Did you see those cops there?" They're all like talking to no. And so I'm the one, because of what I saw yesterday. Today's a different day. The next day, it's still there, like to a maybe lesser degree, but I think already like 6 in the morning already. I could easily see it being 15 again if I were to literally sit here all day and count. But there's certainly a tension, right, on my vehicle, on me. Well, that last guy, there was a tension on him. They had his lights on. I think they, talked to him definitely, as the picture shows. I think they took him away, actually.
Yeah,
So,
you said. Mhm.
yeah. So in any
John,
case,
uh,
hmm.
may I read to you from the
Oh my
testing
goodness.
code just
No, you may
briefly?
not. No, you may
Okay,
not. You could post it in the chat though.
I did, but you
Okay, that's sufficient. And
okay,
if you really want me to know, you could DM me. How about
I
that?
will. But you didn't read my DM yesterday, did you?
I don't
He's always
know.
soliciting people to send him DMs, but then he never actually reads them.
Right, that's
That's what
why.
happened with
Yeah,
me.
Okay. Did you send me a DM that I did not respond to, Jane?
Many, yes.
You talking about what, 2 years ago?
No.
Mm.
After this time, you kicked me down and said I wasn't allowed to ask questions on stage and that I needed to send them to you in your back channel because otherwise it would
Mm-hmm.
be performative. You needed to know that I was genuine. I started sending you questions in the back channel and you haven't answered a
Okay.
single one.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's been times I sent messages, and actively so, and so forth and so on. Jessica's a good example. It took her a month to get back with me finally. And, that happens to me where
You
I
said it was
contact somebody.
unacceptable.
It happens to me where, yeah. And if it's a case that it's 30 days and I've not gotten back with you, it would be unacceptable on my part. Absolutely.
John,
But but
just
but
so
but
you know. Okay,
now that for the first time you mentioning it in a very awkward situation about what I haven't done, the numerous times that I have talked with you, you said, "Oh, by the way, John, I sent you a DM you haven't responded to. Maybe you haven't seen it yet. Could you take a look at it?" Like I haven't heard any of that, Jane. I
Yeah,
wonder
because you
why.
view that as nagging. Why would I nag at you? You've been complaining about everyone nagging you.
So I'll tell you what. I feel like you're nagging me, and I'm going to send you to the audience, Jane. I'm just tired of this. Okay, this is not the kind of conversation